Hi again. This is Regent Merced, and welcome to the Blade Podcast. And today, a perfect example of how he can't keep his mouth shut, how somebody is getting pretty fat, and Neil Young is at it again. Only this time, weirder. The Blade content is available at bobtheblade.com and sponsored today by Judd's Designs. Here is Blade.
I was listening to Sirius XM. I got this little deal where it's like $4.95 a month. And that, friends, is where I get my sports from. I don't watch sports anymore. And if you'd like an illustration on why I don't watch sports anymore, here it is. Tupak Shakur wrote that song. It's entitled Fuck All of Y'all. One of my favorite song titles of all. My favorite song title of all is I Don't Know by the Perfect Stranger Band. I Don't Know. My second is Fuck All Y'all from Tupak Shakur, and Saliva did a cover of that. Too expensive to watch sports. Super Bowl coming up. I'm not going to watch it, probably. You know, I don't care anymore about watching sports. I just check it on the internet. I'm serious. Too many other fun things to do besides sit down for 3.5 hours and watch a sporting event. They're all the same after 50 years of watching sports. Anyway, I was listening to Sirius XM, and I listened to The Bridge. And it's soft rock songs from the 70s. Soft rock? You know, we always ask the question, what kind of sense does soft rock? There's no such thing. You can't say soft rock. It's an oxymoron, soft rock. But we've gotten used to it over the years, so we don't question it anymore. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. Soft rock. And this Elton John song comes on, and it's Someone Saved My Life Tonight, which, you know, I loved it. All the Elton John songs and all those songs from the 70s. If you go back and listen to those songs from the 70s, those love songs that were so slow and boring when you're a teenager, you know, early 70s, mid 70s, now you like them a lot more because they're beautifully crafted pop songs from the 70s that were called rock songs, even though they weren't. Just listening to one before the Elton John song is You Left Me Just When I Needed You Most. Stupid ass song, but a nice pop song now that I'm older. Anyway, where does like a butterfly, and butterflies are free to fly, fly away, bye bye. What does that have to do with Someone Saved My Life Tonight? Bernie Taupin wrote the lyrics to the Elton John songs all those years. He might still, I'm not sure about that. But Bernie Taupin did write one of the greatest tribute songs I've ever heard. I've really heard two great tribute songs in my life. Songs about other people. You know, songs that when you hear them, you say, man, if someone would write a song like that and sing a song like that about me, I would really have done something. And it's Candle in the Wind that Bernie Taupin wrote about Norma Jean, Marilyn Monroe. Make you cry just listening to it. It does. It's brilliant. And the other one is rock tribute songs, people that sing about other people. and their lives. How could this be a rock song? But it was Don McLean, and he did American Pie. And I think it was after that he did Vincent, which is a song about Vincent van Gogh. Now, who writes about artists in the rock era and have a song that's called a rock song that's Vincent? It was a tribute song to Vincent van Gogh, who had a horrible life, but he was talented, as you know. And the tribute song that he wrote to him was just beautiful. Beautiful. And it came out in 1970, I want to say, when I was 11, and I heard it. And I was like, okay, I didn't get it. I didn't know who Vincent van Gogh was. And they all call it Starry, Starry Nights, But get this, I mentioned Tupak Shakur, fuck all of y'all. It was like his favorite song, this Vincent song. He got capped, he got shot at an intersection in Las Vegas, finally died. And a song that he played over and over and over on his deathbed was Vincent. Huge fan of Don McLean. Whatever. So someone saved my life tonight. Sugar Bear. Sugar Bear. Breaking news, Neil Young has taken all of his music off of Amazon right now. You cannot find any Neil Young music on Amazon. I listen to Spotify, to listen to Neil Young. I don't buy any real Neil Young per se. I just listen to it on Spotify. And he had taken it off Spotify because of their policies on letting Joe Rogan, a very famous podcaster, his take on COVID and getting shots and all that kind of stuff. And he was mad at Spotify because they let Joe Rogan talk about it on his Spotify, podcast. So he took his music off with Joni Mitchell, but went back on because he needed a database for people to get his music. I knew that would happen. Look, man, that's where people get their music from. You're going to need that, Neil. But anyway, he's taking his music off Amazon. You can't buy his music on Amazon anymore now because of this Trump regime thing. He's going back at it again. Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos, right, who's a Trump supporter. And he says, as long as Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, my music will not be sold on Amazon. So what he's done is he's taken his music off Amazon and given it all to Greenland to get even more political about it with his political amblings, Mr. Neil Young. So if you live in Greenland or are a Greenland citizen, you can get Neil Young's music for free. I was wondering, it's like, wait a minute, isn't he Canadian? He's not even American. And then I looked it up and found out that he has a dual citizenship. He's Canadian/American is what he is. And he, from 1970 to 2020, that's 50 years, he paid taxes to the United States of America, doing his concerts in America, and living here with a green card. He had a green card. And he had applied for a citizenship, a dual citizenship, many, many years ago. And there was a big delay in it because there was this moral clause delay in it. You had to be a certain type of character of person. And he was using marijuana. So they wouldn't give him a citizenship. Now that's USA being senile. Who gives the USA any right to call anybody moral enough to be a citizen of the United States of America? That's just plain hypocritical. That's clown shoe country is what that is. But they finally gave him a dual citizenship. At least that's what his wife said. He's married to Daryl Hannah, Jackson Browne's old fling. I love Jackson Browne so much. And I tuned in one day to see one of his videos, Actually, on Sirius XM, I was listening to Tender Is the Night from Jackson Browne, which I like that song, right? I love Jackson Browne. Interviewed him at the Grammys one time. Nicest guy, the most regular guy. He reminded me of me.
The music that was made in the 70s was,
Shut up. He did. He reminded me totally of me.
We grew up listening to Bob Dylan.
And he was a nice guy and all that. And I was totally shocked when I saw one of his videos, I guess, or in interviews or something. maybe a month ago for the first time in a long time, maybe like 10, 15 years, and he's all gray now. His hair is like totally gray. Shocked me, you know. It been 2 years now, and I can't take the weight off. Quit smoking. It's been 2 years. And I immediately gained 20 pounds. And I've been 160 my whole life. I'm up to 184 pounds at this point. Try to hide it. You know, you walk around and hold your beer gut in. You try to. You do it day by day. You'd think you'd have, you know, six-pack abs because it takes so much effort to hold your beer gut in. You know the deal, man. When you get fatter, older in life, your metabolism slows down and your fat goes to your belly. Front porch gut, I call it. And you know, it would make the show if I stood up and gave you a side profile of my gut, because you wouldn't believe it. I mean, you can see that I've gained some weight and there's something there, but if I did a side view and stuck it out, whoa, you'd be shocked. Desert swinger, we call it down here. In the South, we called it the dicky do. You know, my belly sticks out more than my dicky do. Or Dunlap disease. My belly Dunlap my belt. That's in the South where I'm from. God, and I don't even eat that much. I just can't get it off. Doctor says, well, you can exercise 7,000 steps walking. That's it. That'll take it off. 7,000 steps a day. What? I'm going to have to take up golf again. But you can't take up golf and walk because it's 113 degrees out here. What am I going to do? Shut the hell up and just go with my beer gut like every other American man does. Or man. Everywhere. Fuck, man. £184. I know some of you are saying I'm 2 spins over. I'm 225. 2 spins around the weight scale. I know, but that's just a lot for me. And I did it again the other day. I was picking up my child at the daycare center, getting ready to get in the car, and so was another woman picked up her child, and I went, damn, mama. Because damn. Wow. And then I caught myself in the end. I said, come on. And she muttered under her breath without even looking at me, dirty old man. Didn't even look at me. Got in the car, shoved her kid in the car, drove off in her Mercedes in great haste. Now, here's the problem with being like that. First of all, I do that kind of stuff. I try not to, but sometimes it pops out and I can't help it when you see a damn hummer. It's like you think you have rights when you're an old man. Dirty old man. What do they expect? And you're not threatening. If you're a young man, it might be different. But she took offense. And the worst part about making a mistake like that is that I have to see her every day. I don't care that much. I think she does, because every time I'm walking this way and she's walking that way, she starts some fake talk with her child, or looks the other way, incidentally, to avoid me. I'm surprised she hasn't reported me to the teacher or something. I don't know. I admit it, and I'm proud of myself because I admit it. Dirty old man, you're damn right I am. I've been a dirty old man since I was 40. Don't let any man who's over 40 tell you that he's not, because he is. We all are. It never ends. Frank Adamak, my old golf buddy, I asked him, 25 years ago, Frank, and he was older than me by 10 years. Frank, does it ever end? And he said, no, Blade, no. And he was probably 70 at the time, 65, 70. Dirty old man? Absolutely. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Admit it.
Well, damn. That just about does it for today's Blade podcast. Remember that all Blade content is at bobtheblade.com. Adios, amigos. Catch you soon.